These are the top 3 passive income sources of 2022. In this video, I'm going to talk about how much effort it takes for each one of these sources, as well as how long it takes to start generating that passive income. So before we jump into the video, I want to say that no one is going to be throwing money at your feet. Just making passive income is not just going to happen. You are going to have to put up some work up at the beginning, whether that comes with your money and capital, your time, your knowledge. Something will have to be put up at front to start generating that passive income. And further, I want to kind of talk about how passive income is not really about making money and becoming rich. It's actually more about having more freedom to do what you want to do. Getting away from that typical regular 9-to-5 job that you're training your time for money and putting in some work all up front and having more time to use that money down the road because it's generating passive income. And I also think it's very important to note that when you're generating this passive income, you should start by thinking, what value am I going to bring to somebody? Because if you're not bringing any value to anybody, then there's really no reason for that particular product, that particular content or shop or product or something like that is going to be generating you any money, because if you're not giving anybody value, they're not going to give you money for that particular item. I think this is a very underrated idea that a lot of people do not hit on, and instead they just give you a lot of different ideas and ways to start generating passive income. But if you do not put something at a value out there, then no one's going to take it. And then further, you actually need to have generated some sort of audience to go and get this value item that you are presenting to them. Whether it is an actual physical product, a digital product, a content, if you're putting out something out there of value that your audience loves, they're going to keep coming back, and that makes it more passive, and you will not have to put out additional things or traction to pull them to that particular item. So all in all, it's going to take a lot of work up front to build some sort of value item or product that your audience is going to want to come back to on a regular basis to generate this passive income that you're looking for. And on that point, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so we can continue to build our own audience and we can be there for you from your first penny to your first million. All right, so let's jump right into the top 3 passive income ideas of 2022. So to start off, I do want to say that I have more or less grouped these into top 3 categories with a couple different subcategories underneath them that you can use that if it fits best into your investment strategy. All right, so the first category I'm going to talk about is going to be with the investment category. And this one in particular is going to take a lot less effort to set up, and it also takes a lot less time than some of the other ones that we're going to talk about later in the video. Now, you will have to have some sort of capital to put up front to buy these investments. So specifically with buying shares or stocks, you're going to have to buy shares of each company that will hopefully in time either appreciate in value or they're going to be giving you a dividend depending on which one you buy. Now, there's a couple different avenues that you can go about this. You can really focus on the blue chip ones that are going to appreciate, and in time you can sell off some of those stocks and make a passive income through the appreciation of the particular price of each company. And that is relatively risky because you are betting that these companies are going to continue to do well by the time you decide to sell. Now, the other hand is going to be dividend stocks. Dividend stocks can be blue chip stocks, or there's other ones out there that are not so much in that blue chip category, but they do have a higher yield for their dividend. And I want to make sure that you are not being fooled by this higher yield and a dividend and just going with those stocks, because that does not necessarily mean that these particular companies are good companies and they're going to be along for a long while. Now, both of these strategies, going with just an individual stock that has a blue chip with a chance of appreciation, as well as going one with higher in dividend yield, is also pretty risky because it takes you yourself to make a good educated decision to buy a single stock and assume that that single stock will continue to yield those particular dividend yields or appreciation that you are expecting. On the other hand, I would recommend moving forward with, not financial advice, index funds. And the reason because I like these index funds is that it groups a whole bunch of really great stocks together that will not only do a little bit of appreciation with time, but it will also allow you to have some dividend yields. Now, it won't be as high as some of those higher dividend yield stocks that we were talking about earlier, but it will give you a good amount. And the more you actually allow that dividend to be reinvested and compound over time, it's going to continue to build and build and build and generate that sweet passive income. All right, so the next one in this investment category that takes a little bit of effort up front to kind of research and learn about, but not a lot of time to actually move forward with, is going to be with REITs. REITs stand for Real Estate Investment Trusts. And this is sort of like a stock or a share where it has multiple different types of real estate into this thing that you buy online, and then it will pay out dividends on the proceeds from the real estate income that they generate. Now, this is a great option that you can move forward with if you are not able to actually buy your own real estate investment property, but you would like to get your feet wet in the actual real estate market. Now, other options that you can go forward with if you're not able to fully invest into your own real estate property is that you can look into websites like fundrise.com that will have a diversified portfolio of multiple different real estate investment properties, and you can invest into them and they will pay out a dividend with time. Now, I really do like this because this is comparable to the index funds, which is my favorite way to invest on the stock market, and it has a relatively safer outcome than just buying an individual stock or only buying one specific rental property. Now, that being said, if you did go with one of the rental properties that you own, that is a great way to create some passive income because it does take some upfront work, but then you just pay some property manager to manage that property. And as long as nothing crazy happens, it has very minimal work to it and it can generate that passive income. Now, I do want to say that this can quickly turn into a very non-passive, a very active income if you're having issues with the house or if the tenants do become more problematic. All right, now the next category that we're going to talk about is going to fall into the property that you already own and how you can utilize it for making passive income. So this is something that has kind of boomed over the past few years, and this is going with companies like Turo, that's Turo.com, where it allows you to rent out your car to a passerby in your city. So a lot of people will be coming into your city, they'll be flying in, they won't actually have a car, and it allows them to have a relatively cheaper option than compared to a lot of the other rental car properties out there. So if you have an extra car that's laying around, or you have a car that you will be commuting to work and you don't actually need it, then you can start renting out your car on a weekend basis and make some extra cash on the side. Another thing that you can do with your car is that you can actually start advertising on it. Now, I wouldn't go crazy about this one. This isn't going to be a large amount of money, but you could be making $100 or so a month by adding a little decal to putting up a half of your car wrapped in it, or even wrapping your whole car with these ads. Now, a company like that is going to be Rapify.com, and you can go on there and potentially start advertising and making some passive income just based on your routes to your work. And then the last one is going to be Airbnb. We actually have a video that we'll link up above us right here that goes how you can start investing and start making some passive income with Airbnb. Now, we'll say that this is relatively passively active, that you will have to at least turn it over every single time that somebody comes in, which really isn't that bad if you just actively clean your house on a regular basis. Now, you will have to deal with people coming in and out of your house unless you have an extra, like a mother-in-law suite or something else out there that you can start renting out. That's just some other things that you have to think about, but I do think this is a great option if you don't want to put any money down, but you're able to start renting out that extra room, then this is an easy way to go about that. All right, now the last category that we're going to talk about is going to be specifically talking about products. Now, there's two different subcategories inside of this. One is going to be a digital product, and then the second one is going to be a physical product. My personal favorite and probably the best for scalability is going to be the digital product. If you can have something out there where you can create something online with a computer and then start pushing it out to your target audience, some sort of value, and that is able to just continue to turn over and over and over, and you don't have to produce a new product to continue to get those clicks and those sales or those views or something like that, then that is probably the best way to make a passive income. Yes, it's probably going to take a lot more work up front than some of these other ways where you're creating this course or you're creating this content on YouTube to become a creator and you're putting it out there and it continues to generate some views. But over time, creating that evergreen content is going to create a great passive income for you down the road. Now, another great digital product out there or digital way of creating some passive income is through affiliate marketing. Now, I think this is a kind of a misleading way of making it, because some people will make like blog posts and basically talk about this affiliate marketing the whole time, which really isn't giving much value to them. And so a lot of people don't click on that. Or the same thing with like a YouTube video, where you put a video out there and you really only throw like a 5-minute video out there that's kind of not real researched, and you talk about how you want to push somebody to a specific link, and there's really no value to that. And so it really shows up where people do not continue watching it and don't give them a great value, and therefore not a great audience and retention rate. And so it gets a bad rap if you don't utilize it correctly. And then the last one within this product category is going to be the physical products. And this is something that you can go forward with Shopify or creating your own website online. And that is something that you can utilize, but it does take a lot of work. Some things that we kind of recommend is that you would take your whatever product you're interested in, and you would look at another category that does not necessarily fall into that same niche, and see how they have marketed it, and see how their landing pages look, and kind of copy that. And if it's working for something else in a different category, then you can kind of try to see to simulate that into your particular landing page, your particular category, and can that actually help you generate a couple more leads a little faster. So overall, I would say that the investments category is probably the easiest and the more time true and tested way of getting some passive income. It may not be the most lucrative, but it is definitely one that pretty much everybody should be working on right now. And then the second one that I kind of want to hit on the most is going to be the digital asset and products, and that is probably the most scalable and the way that you're going to be generating the most and the best passive income. And potentially have the longest return down the road. So in the end, passive income does take some work up front, or some capital, or some knowledge, or something like that you're gonna have to put up front to continue to generate that sweet passive income. But once you establish that, it's very easy to kind of steamroll and allow that to compound, and eventually start moving away from that active income of working a job and start enjoying that extra freedom that comes along with that extra income. Thank you so much for watching this video and staying to the end. It really does make a big difference to us and to our channel. I hope you got some great content that you are willing to start utilizing on your own. I hope you have a great day. And as always, we are here to help you from your first penny to your first million. We'll see you next time.